So here we go. The eagerly anticipated weight is nearly there. The showdown for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World between the Gypsy King, the Manchester-born Tyson Fury, unbeaten to date with that one controversy draw, which we all know really was a win for him. So unbeaten in more ways, undoubtedly unbeaten, against the Jamaican-born, who's had a tough upbringing, the body snatcher Dillian Whyte. And can the body snatcher Dillian Whyte snatch away the title from the Gypsy King? The Gypsy King is clearly the best fighter of the gypsies out there, but if Dillian Whyte snatches his belt, he will no longer be king of the heavyweights. It's going to be a stiff, tough ask from Whyte. It'll be very interesting to see what tactics he uses. Will he use the roughhouse tactics that he used against Joseph Parker? And coming in at 18 stone 1 pound, he has been lighter, but it's quite a consistent weight for the body snatcher. And Tyson Fury, interestingly, coming in 12 pounds lighter from his previous fight. I personally prefer Tyson a bit lighter. I go back to the days when he defeated Vladimir Klitschko in Germany to lift the crown. He's never been that light since, but I felt he was a little too heavy, arguably, against the bronze bomber Deontay Wilder. Here was me being critical of Fury beating the bronze bomber, because I didn't think he was at his best. It's a little bit harsh, I suppose. He defeated such a devastating puncher, arguably the hardest puncher since Ernie Shavers and George Foreman. Some believe he's the hardest puncher ever. But I thought it was a little lacklustre. It made a better fight than if he was at his prime and peak. It's always he's at his prime, but he wasn't conditioned primely. So it's nearly go time. 18 stone 1 pound. The body snatcher Tyson Fury, 18 stone 12 pound. The Gypsy King standing in with a 5-inch advantage in height. And how will the body snatcher make up for that height advantage? Headman with Fury, of course, is Sugar Hill. And we have in camp Xavier Miller and Harold Shadow Knight, the good American fighter. And looking after the mass here of 37 stone is Mark Lyson. Let's see how much work he'll have to do tonight as we get ready to go. It's nearly crunch time. All the training, all the waiting. He gives his last final prayer. The Gypsy King, as he previously stated, the most important thing is they both come out of this fight unscathed. And here we go. Just touching gloves, just pantering away. A little tap from the Gypsy King, and very interestingly enough, one back from the body by the body snatcher, who has started in a southpaw stance. Very unexpected. How unexpected is this for Fury, and how will he handle it? Just a bit of, oh yes, another nice jab by the body snatcher. Just scoring punches. I do score them, although they're not helpful punches. But I believe it's the one who lands the most punches is the way I score it. And just a bit of a tap at the moment. Sizing each other up. One back. They're all body shots at the moment. Just little jabs. Trying to set bigger shots up. That one just glanced away. Tries to get one round the side. Looks very sharp as the Gypsy King. And this awkward type stance. A nice little poke there from the Gypsy King, and another one. There's not much in this fairly quiet first minute of the round. But it must be said, they both look extremely sharp, and exceptionally sharp as the WBC champion, Fury. Just falls short, but it looked a bit deliberate. Just trying to size things up, both of them. Game of cat and mouse at the moment, here in round one. Just missing there, making the body snatcher miss. He tries to get home, taking on the glove there. Very, very sizing up round. You could just see at any moment one of them could explode on the counter, but it's very much a game of weighing up and cat and mouse, and there really ain't much in this first 2 minutes of the opener. Always tries to whip a right hand round the corner. He nearly done. I think I just glanced on the shoulder, just short there from Whyte. Both guys do look sharp. Again, just missing. And the overhand backhand from his southpaw stance misses. The Gypsy King just fainted, moving, pausing. It's a sort of very quiet round in the sense no big shots landed, but they do look sharp, sizing each other up. And has to be said, unless we get a really good finish by one of these in the opening round, I'm not going to separate them, and I'm going to go even in the closing seconds. Died down. Yes, so I've got that round even. I don't have anybody in front. Of course, in amateur boxing you're forced to call a winner in a round, and in professional boxing you're not. So that for me is a 10-10. I think both corners could be pleased with that round. It's very interesting that he come out in the southpaw stance. I wonder how confusing the Gypsy King found that. Very unexpected. I really didn't think we'd be seeing Dillian Whyte be doing that, but nicely held his own in that round. And as a result, it just goes to show there must be a lot more talent there than we sometimes see the brute force of Dillian Whyte, because as I say, in that cat and mouse exchange I had it even, and the ringside judges of course got to do their bit. That was most of the little scoring punches to the body from both of them. And here we go for round two. Interestingly enough now, Whyte comes straight back, having out his own against the Gypsy King, back into orthodox. And again they're just touching and controlling, trying to find the range, find the timing. Little clip just blocked around the side by the body snatcher. But Fury to me has a remnants of a bit more like the Klitschko performance, much more on his toes. He's, you know, if you look take on the trilogy fight against Wilder, of course his last fight he was just much more swinging, sitting down, hard punching, but he's in almost a stone, and he's made the body snatcher miss wildly there as the Gypsy King. And he looks much more, a bit more towards the Klitschko victory more than the trilogy fight against Wilder. Seem to be settling, nicely controlled. As I say, it's not a bad start from either fighter, but Fury really is just picking away and looking very sharp. Not a lot in this round all the same. As we approach the halfway stage, round two, here at Wembley, 94,000 people. Again, just makes him miss. 6'9", huge range. You've got to go a long way to get to this man's target, especially when he's in this sharp form. He really does look in good condition as the Gypsy King. He's nice and sharp. And both just a little poke through there by the body snatcher, but Fury's just another nice little counter with the left. And a good jab again by the Gypsy King. He just seems to be just a little bit sharper. But now what's going on? He's trying the roughhouse tactics. Misses with a wild overhand right there, does the body snatcher. And that just seemed to have angered Fury a bit there. He sat down on that 1-2 a bit more, and part of that glove got through. And the man of pure class, there's no doubt about that, against the more brawling style. How can he handle it? Will he keep frustrating and open up? And again Fury just pokes in Lovely controlled round. Dillian Whyte don't seem to have the answer. And another lovely jab there by the Gypsy King. Just jumps back the face of the body snatcher. Tries a double jab himself, just glances, falls tiny bit short. Tries some big shots. As they tie up, this seems to be a bit of an old situation. That's the end of round 2. And if the body snatcher, the Jamaican born, South London now based body snatcher, if he's going to take off the Gypsy King's WBC Heavyweight Championship of the World, he's going to have to come from behind, because I've got him 1 round down after 2. You can see there a big wild swing. And you see the gap in class in that round in places. But it was not too hurtful a round for the body snatcher. It was just a points loss. He was never hurt or troubled. But Fury did sit down on a couple of lovely 1-2s. And I think part of his glove got through on one of those occasions. Inspector there looking in, making sure everything's right, as they have to in the title fights, making sure all the rules are correct and the safety of the fighter, of course. Yes, so here we go, ready for round 3. Bit late out there was the Fury camp, but they're here eventually. Oh, a little whip round the side. I thought part of the glove got there. I think the body snatcher just blocked a little late. But doesn't he look good, the Gypsy King? You know, I've done a little bit myself, but could you imagine being in there at 6'9" with such speed, lightning speed? And there's a little complaint there by the champion. I don't tend to like fighters complaining, in all honesty, but when this man complains, it'll probably be for good reason. It'll only spur him on, and it does. He just switches momentary to the southpaw stance and catches beautifully. He touches his head, almost he feels like he's bleeding, but there's no blood coming from him. It must be a clash of heads by the body snatcher. Must have put a bit of dirty work in there, he feels, as Fury. But doesn't he look, another nice poke home. Boxing like a middleweight, and that's often been said. You know, we think of, oh, a lovely little touch and whip the right hand round the corner. Becoming a bit of a masterclass in these early stages. He really does look good. Of course, in the heavyweight division, one punch can change everything. But I was going to have some night's work to take the Gypsy King's title away, because we know when the hardest, the very hardest of punchers do it, another nice right round the side. When they do hit the Gypsy King, he does get up. Okay, he might not have the greatest chin in the world, but he has the greatest recovery. He will go down from shots. Of course he has a great chin, but he will go down from punches. You know, unlike fighters like Tex Cobb and all those, almost Oliver McCall almost looked like he could hit them with a baseball bat and couldn't knock him to the floor. But Fury has been down, but when he gets down, he's at his most dangerous. You know, for all the Fury fans there, of course he has a great chin, but his recovery when he gets to the floor. So how does Whyte, if he catches him, you feel like he might go down. And at the moment, it's a boxing masterclass by Fury. Brilliant work. Brilliant work. The mandatory #1 challenger, as in all honesty at this stage, is made to look, in the boxing sense, made to look very ordinary by the brilliance of the Gypsy King. Chopping right by Fury as he comes in. And again, he just switches, catches him with both hands. What answer has he got here? It must be terribly painful, even at this early stage of the fight, to try and find a way home. And again, a clear round for the Gypsy King. I've got him 2 rounds up. And there's little doubt on that. I think it's, you see how you see it at home, but first round I've given a draw, but clear 2 rounds of beautiful boxing. Now how do we manage to get out of this, as the grease goes on the face of the body snatcher? She's momentary looking away. Xavier Miller the Neasden based experienced trainer, not at this level, but good trainer, comes with good qualities. And of course Harold Knight, usually experienced, and the man himself, the two men himself, the brilliant Sugar Reel. And there we go, the King, Tyson Fury. And again, he just clips him round the side. Decent jab there by the body snatcher to get through, but to say to zero effect. Holding his the elbow going in there, and he's playing some rough tactics there as the body snatcher. And Fury, oh, you can just see the look on his face, and I tell you, I wouldn't like to be a man upsetting the Gypsy King. I really wouldn't, and there's been some stern warning from them both, and he's having his word with Mark Lyson, saying his piece always. If ever you want a man to say his piece, Tyson Fury really is that man. But he tried this against Joseph Parker and he was allowed to get away with it. But Parker, of course, a brilliant, good fighter, but he's just short of the Gypsy King. I don't think he'd allow him to get away with this. I can just see him angering him in an aggressive way, not in a way where he's going to lose his mind, which of course that's the body snatcher's open to. And again, another nice jab through by the Gypsy King. 33-year-old Fury. Again, good work. That's just brilliant defence, where even though Whyte was in the middle of him, he still made him miss. Oh, lovely counters again. Beautiful work. And again, right hand through the middle. And now, you see the adjustments. Even with his 6'9" frame, look where the Gypsy King's got his head. Look at that. He's got the low head on the shorter man. Intelligence, the roughhouse tactics that Whyte's tried early. Just the razor sharp thinking of the Gypsy King. It's just completely adjusted, imminently. Another nice solid jab, and again he just manages to block, even in range, takes away the opportunity. You thought that the body snatcher would have landed, but he finds a way of just blocking it. Good work again. 1-2, hold there, and tie. So the roughhouse tactics has all been knolled out. Round 4, and again it's another round. And he's got, he had the Dillian Whyte off balance there. I thought it was going to be a big right hand. And he's clumping around the back of the head, which we don't like to see. There's a couple of punches down by the back of the head. Yeah, and Mark Lyson's trying to pull this 37 stone of mass apart. And what is Lyson? He looks dwarfed in there. Some 11 stone. Now he's having a stern old chat there, and rightfully so, because he was swinging some hard punches around the back of the head. Yes, telling off, rightfully so. Yes, and Fury just saying, he zipped me right in the back of the head. He's used his elbow, and I don't think upsetting the Gypsy King does too many favours, in my opinion. We'll see. Whyte got his head in the right place there. Just a couple of scoring arm punches there by Fury, and unless anything dramatic happens in the last 10 seconds of this round, it's going to be another Fury round. Yes, and he raises his hand to the crowd, does the Gypsy King, and the fans are on their feet, and a former champion holds the bucket. The old spit bucket, we called it back in the day. Many drinkers now take the water down. Back in the old day we used to take it in and spit it. Now they sometimes drink it. Yeah, so right hand round the corner there, and then Fury just knows his work out. But some dirty tactics there. Yeah, so it seems a really relaxed camp there. So I just want to reiterate when I said earlier that Fury doesn't have a great chin. I want to take that back and get it clear. Of course he has a great chin, but you know, he doesn't have, as I said, like your Tex Cobbs and your Oliver McCalls. They just wouldn't go down. But when he goes down, it's almost worse than not going down, because when he goes down, he gets up, he recovers, and then puts on the performance of his life. So it's even worse, really, than somebody who can't knock down. So here we go in round 5, and it's all the way, apart from a draw in round 1 for me. It's all Fury. Seems to be controlling things beautifully, and really as near as the body snatchers come to another poke through the middle. To hurt and Fury is the roughhouse work, and I don't think that's done him any favours, in all honesty. She seems to put beautiful work into the body. And when we talk about the Gypsy King and the greatest Ali, you see so much, lovely jab again, you see so much work, so much similarities. The speed is unbelievable, and if it looks fast on TV, you know, trust me, to be in with these fighters, you would have a, you know, if a #1 mandatory challenger of the world can barely see them coming at lightning speed. You can imagine being a sort of okay level fighter. Anyway, it's the heavyweight championship of the world. Okay level fighters are not allowed in here, but the #1 challenger is, and he's having a tough opening session. Not really hurt, it has to be said, but confused, and again round the corner, making him miss. And you just feel as the fight's growing. And look at this, just the same as Ali. Look at that, they can just fight off the back foot and off the rope. So many trainers you hear say that the ropes are electricity, don't go near them. But that wouldn't apply to fighters like Ali, Tyson Fury, Ray Leonard. And they could love it, they could just bring them in, and skill set to die for. And another right to the body. Brilliant work. And you can see now the peekaboo styles. You just really don't know which way to go at this stage. There's Whyte, very confused and frustrated. And the left hook showed. You're starting to load up, swinging wildly. And again, just a beautiful poke. Just looks very comfortable. And as with Whyte starting to get frustrated, a beautiful right, he's stunned him there. Right hand and the body snatcher, just momentary, felt that. And another beautiful left hand. And Fury just feels like he needs to tie and knoll him out. But a beautiful attack there, and that really did stun Dillian Whyte. Another clear round, again, unless something unforeseen happens in the dying seconds of round 5. I'll just be interested to find out what they have to say in the Whyte corner. How do you get over this obstacle? They're on a bit of a wing and a prayer as far as I can see. It really has to be some big shot of Fury don't see coming. The only chance they have is now built up a clear lead, and Fury looks in devastating form physically and mentally. Look at this, here we go, just round the corner, beautiful right hand, and just takes another one on the way back, and the body snatcher. Another look, she's threw that shot a lot, she's threw a couple of left hands. And there you just see the dip in the legs there. You see the dip, and they looked a little bit disorientated for a minute. So we're approaching the midway as we come out for round 6. And this looks a very confident camp. And lots of questions asked. The fighter's turned his head there, asking instructions almost. What do I do? How do I get past the 6'9"? The elusive, brilliant skills of Fury. Brother Shane just saying something there. And again, round 6 starts as the others have. Another nice clip round the corner. Oh, lovely jab again. It just seems to be warming up and getting sharper. You can imagine fighting somebody who's had a great start. You maybe open them to weaken, but we know how good his stamina is. And again, beautiful punches. Oh, what misses wildly, and he turns, look at this, just turns the body. So he's actually laughing. How frustrating, how difficult a task this must be ahead for the Brixton boy. Aiming to shock the world. A lot of pundits give him a chance. The boxing odds come into about 3 to 1. And Fury 1 to 4 favourite. So if you're a rich guy and you really fancied Fury or Whyte respectively, he's a backable price. And he's doing it. Oh, another great right hand. Just clips around the corner. These punches now seem to be hurting the body snatcher. And this work just seems to get a little bit more disorganised. He had sort of more low, loose, moving hands early in the fight, but when he defends now, both hands are up, as you can see, for the pain being distributed by the champion. And every time they get close now, he's knolled out the rough work of body snatcher. Again, misses wildly. Just measure him up. Look at the reach. You've got to get past that. Another beautiful chopping right. Speed. Reach. Goes to the body. And again, close workers. So just approaching the end of the round. And it's another clear round, unless Whyte can pull something out. Oh, he's got him with a right uppercut. What a punch! And will he make it to his feet? Mark Lyson's looking at him. He's up. He's made it to his feet. I think he's going to let it go on. As he goes forward, he's all over the place. It's off. And still the champion of the world. The Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. To me, that's one of his best performances ever, if not his best. He made Dillian Whyte really look like 2 leagues apart. He picked him apart. He tried to get roughed in the body snatcher, and there was zero chance. That just motivated the Gypsy King. And really on this performance, is there anybody that can beat this man? He's talking about, yes, he might retire, but surely the carrot dangling between arch rival Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk, the brilliant tactician, will get him at least one more fight, I'm sure. But what a performance. That to me is the best I've ever seen Tyson Fury. When I first really rated Fury, he come of age when he done the real job on Del Boy Chisora back in the day. He made him look like a second-rate fighter. But I tell you right here, right now, and look at Dad John just loving it. That to me was a performance amongst performance. Okay, the body snatchers had 2 defeats by the way of knockout, but he's a rightful challenger, and I tell you now, he really made him look second-rate. Yes, so thanks for tuning in and to Christy TV, and what a great performance by the Gypsy King. I hope you've enjoyed that. That was a special performance.